Hello everyone, and welcome to the complete series of Honor Assault World Domination, including both parts 1 and 2 that were released in September of 2023. Now you may be asking, Redroth, why are you doing this now instead of, well, in 2023? Well, my answer to that is that I was planning on making a third part a couple months after part 2. Part 3 would cover all the updates that Honor Assault 2 had received after I first played the game earlier that year in May. However, with part 3 having been overdue for over 2 years now, and me considering working on it again soon, I figured I would combine the first two parts into one video for your convenience, while part 3 gets worked on. So without further ado, let's get into it.
War. War never changes. Whether it be over assassinations, invasions, a stray dog, or just multiple countries that are mad at each other, war has affected humanity for all millennia. And because of this, ever since the boom of video games in the 1980s, many different studios and franchises have tried their hand to realistically recreate warfare to the best of their ability, such as Battlefield, Call of Duty, or maybe even Roblox? Roblox is a massive platform where you can find just about any game genre. Platformers are obvious in this case, horror, FPS, sports, tycoon, and simulators, just to name a few. Another genre of games you can find on Roblox is military. Of course, with any genre on Roblox, you can find thousands of military games, with one of those being Honor Assault.
What's up, racers?
My first objective is to invade Denmark.
All of us should just gang up on the Soviets.
Yes.
Declare war. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Bay of Pigs Invasion, 1939 edition.
Should we just rush Britain right now? Should I try to make out with the... Dang it! Britain is good.
They are. What?
Are you kidding me? Oh, sorry.
Danny, you declared war on Colin. Oh my god.
Created by Minitoon, the guy behind everyone's favorite Roblox horror game, Honor Assault is a real-time strategy game based off of the well-received franchise by Paradox Interactive of the same genre, Hearts of Iron. The description reads, presenting a real-time strategy game where you can control a country and make custom scenarios. Ever wanted to run a country? Ever wanted to make alternate history come to life?
No!
Pick any country in one of the select maps and run it the way you want it to. Taxes too high? No problem, just lower them. Constant riots and instability? No worries, just win the support of the people. In Honor Assault, the fate of the world is in your hands. This game is relatively popular, having gained over 53 million visits with almost 120,000 favorites, and has an active player base of a few hundred. Me and some of my friends have played this game to death, and to be honest, I never even knew this game existed until February of this year, when a friend of mine in a Discord server I'm in talked about a war between Germany and Mexico, and joining against Germany. Yes, indeed very random. And after that, I was hooked on playing this game. So, how did this game work? Quick note before we start, this video is inspired by Sournail's Polish Review series, so be sure to check out his channel after this video, as his Polish Review series alongside his other videos make for some great content. Alright, now let's get on to the video. When entering into the game, it will bring you 4 options, with 3 being available. The top is still a work in progress, since this game has been updated in 2 years. The options will either bring you to a list of rooms available to join, will show you the skins you've unlocked by playing through the game, or will display options for maps of different regions that you can edit. More on that later. Also, just like the Hearts of Iron series, the game starts in 1936, but unlike this series, the game ends in 1946 by default, but can be changed to be anything. Continuing in the play menu, you can join an open room or you can host your own. If you were to host your own room, you can change the name of the room, input a password, change the end date, as previously mentioned, among other things. Once you've either joined a room or opened one, the game will begin shortly after enough people have joined. Once it loads, a huge word map is presented, with all countries throughout the world that existed in 1936, such as Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union, among many others. Of course, the amount of countries that are displayed depends on the map selected. By clicking on a country, you can play as them and the game begins. Now, through most of my playthroughs, I play as Germany because, I don't know why not. So to start off, this game, unlike its sequel in the Hearts of Iron series, has a phase system, with 3 phases every year. The first phase is for purchasing troops, upgrading cities, etc.
Purchase units. Let's establish an industrial army.
The second phase is for moving troops anywhere within your country's borders.
Here I come through the border and into Afghanistan.
You can also ask other countries to move through them, but most of the time they will say no.
Before I do that, Saudi Arabia, can I go through? No? Yeah, that makes sense. I am going to invade you after all.
The third phase is likely the most important phase out of all of them, the attack phase. If you have declared war on a country, you can attack them and take territory and vice versa. However, if you haven't, then it's just a waste of time for you. So once the attack phase is over, it cycles back to the move phase and a new year begins. Hey guys, this is me while editing. Turns out, I fucked up here. It actually cycles back to the purchase phase after a year begins. So sorry for the misinformation there. Alright, back to the video. Rinse and repeat until the game has reached its end year. Besides phases, there are other mechanics, like resources, which is basically the currency of the game. Political power, which is used for making decisions within your country and with other countries.
My first objective is to invade Denmark.
And productivity, which is basically the backbone of your country. If your productivity were to be low, you would have constant coups and civil wars going on, true story, but if it were to be high, you wouldn't have to worry about any of those things. You also have research points, which can go into things like improving your infantry, unlocking major cities, and even acquiring nukes. You can acquire research points by conquering countries, and the amount of points you get varies on that territory's research level, which can range from 1 to 3. You can also acquire points by sending resources to other nations, even those who are allied with you. This game also has 4 ideologies, each representing ideologies from real life, such as democracy, communism, authoritarianism, and non-alignment, which is basically other ideologies mixed into one, such as monarchies or provisional governments. Each ideology has their advantages and weaknesses, such as if you were to be playing a communist country, you would gain 2 resources per year and not the other, but if you were to be playing an authoritarian country, you would gain 2 political power per year and not the other. However, both democracy and non-alignments are equal in resources and political power, gaining 1 per year. Hey guys, it's me once again while editing, and I fucked up again. Turns out this is actually a bonus for both resources and political power. You won't actually gain this little amount of both. So yeah, once again, editing me has came to fix this, and back to the video. You actually can change your ideology midway through the game, either through A, using enough political power, B, if someone else promoted their ideology enough to your country, an opposition with that ideology would spawn and a civil war would start, or C, if you lost a war to a country you were fighting against and got liberated, your country would automatically be changed to that ideology. Now, if you're playing as a weak nation with little to no development and you want to fight a big and strong country, you can't obviously due to how your country is, but you can get some help with alliances. However, unfortunately, due to a little something called RNG, most of the time, the country that you're asking an alliance for will say no! But sometimes, you just need a little luck.
Oh! I said that as a joke, but now the British are interfering. And usually when I play these guys, they're bitches. But how they formed an alliance with me, but I digress. And now Finland wants an alliance. Suddenly, I'm the good guy in this situation. And I'm allied with that country I can't pronounce, the UK and Finland.
There are more things to mention about Iron Assault's gameplay, but I don't want to make this video too long, so let's move to other aspects of the game. While playing Iron Assault, you can gain credits by conquering the world, and with these credits, you can buy new skins, which obviously are cosmetic. Below the play option, there is a menu for skins, which includes skins during the World War I era, with a regular soldier, a French soldier, a German soldier, and a Russian soldier as options, with a Union worker option as well. Each skin also contains a different appearance for when you have tanks, with the Russian World War I skin being a horse to act as cavalry. Now, if you've been playing Iron Assault for a while, and the 1936 maps aren't your cup of tea, then you can always make your own. Below the skins option, there is a button for the map editor, which will display 4 options for 1936 maps, being Europe, Asia, Spain, and the world, as well as 4 slots for custom maps, which, when unedited, are just the World 1936 maps copied and pasted. In the map editor, you can mess around with stuff such as the flags of countries, their territories, research levels, and starting amount of troops, etc. Now, with this amount of customization, people have come together to make different types of maps.
What the hell is even that?
But the most common types seen are modern maps. No matter what server you go into and click on play, there will always be at least one room with the modern map, guaranteed. So, now that we've covered pretty much everything on this game, should I recommend this to you? Absolutely. While it does have its flaws and occasional bugs, it is still a good game to jump into, get the kinks worked out, and eventually conquer the world. Now, of course, with any other game of its genre, it does have some strategy, although it is easy to learn over time. You can pretty much pick any country and expect to build a decent-sized empire, unless you're the Soviet Union and you want to conquer all of Eurasia. If you haven't played this game before, you should definitely check it out and see if this game fits your playstyle. If you've already played it, that's great. There is a sequel to this game, but I'll cover that in another video. In April 2021, just a few days before the first game got its most recent update, Domination released a demo of the sequel, simply titled Iron Assault 2. The demo is in public, rather unlisted, and I'll leave a link to the game in the description down below if you want to see it for yourself. With it being unlisted, the game has 1.5 million visits, 10,500 favorites, and has a limited active player base. Unlike the first game, when you join in, instead of being presented a menu, you are put straight into a world map, which is akin to the Europe 1936 map from the first game, with it taking place in 1914 rather than in 1936. Personally, I like being put straight into the game instead of having to click a few buttons and then being put into the game, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, keeping up with differences from the first game, there are new mechanics such as manpower, equipment, and food. Another big difference is the removal of phases. So that means you can do anything at any time, like the Hearts of Iron series. Once starting a game, there are more new things, like infrastructure that is scattered throughout a country's territories. There are a few types of infrastructure, such as farms, which produce food, factories, which produce equipment, research facilities, which, as the name implies, produces research points, and mines, which produce resources, among others. Countries also start with alliances, like for example, the German Empire starts with an alliance with Austria-Hungary and Italy, which represented the Triple Alliance from 1882 to 1915. Continuing on, the attack system is also drastically different. When you declare war or make any other decision, there is a chance your decision will go through, and it's because of RNG. Yes, there is a parliamentary system in this game, and especially if you're playing as a democratic country, it's a pain in the ass. Anytime you want to make a decision, there will be a vote on whether or not it should pass, and 9 times out of 10, it won't go through. You can influence the vote so that way it will go through anyway, but countries who are democracies don't have access to this feature. Alright, back to the attack system. So if you're lucky enough and people are in favor of declaring war, or you just influence the vote, you can begin a war. However, it is very different how you attack from the first game. Instead of just clicking on the country you're attacking, you actually have to move into it, and then your troops will fight theirs. And because you already moved into that territory, you will automatically claim it if you win the battle. Now, because Iron Assault 2 doesn't have any AI at the moment, losing a battle is pretty much impossible unless you have fewer troops in the defending country, and said defending country can't actually take your territory due to there being no AI. However, since I've played this game very little, feel free to correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. Now that we've covered the attack system on land, the game also has a different attack system for taking territory from the water, and my god is it complicated compared to the last game. So now that we've covered the attack system, other notable changes include that there are now 5 ideologies, with monarchism declaring independence from non-alignment. Speaking of which, each territory represents ideologies separate from that country's main ideology, which is how Parliament has multiple ideologies represented. But if a country is 100% in one, then each territory will represent that ideology. There is also a trading system, puppet system, however this was technically in the first game with Liberation, but I digress. And the research system has been explained, with each category having 3 upgrade levels, kind of like a skill tree. There is a possibility that this demo will be updated sometime in the future. However, considering that the demo's last update was in February, and of course, the first game's last update was 2 years ago, it is uncertain, as I'm sure Minitoon is working on other projects, but we'll see later down the line. Now that I've mentioned everything to the best of my ability about this demo, should you give it a try before the full game comes out? Yes! While it is still a demo, the game already has some massive improvements from the original, and may get more down the line. Now of course, it has its drawbacks, such one being the complicated naval attack system.
Yeah, how would a boat attack? We can't even get it. What? We can't even... What? Hold on. I'm so confused.
But it is still a demo, so I can't judge too much. This game has a lot of potential, and Iron Assault continues to be a great alternative to Hearts of Iron. Who knows, maybe the game will get finished, maybe it'll just stand frozen in time forever. We'll see what happens. But that is it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.